own bag up a plain steps. The pontiff's lack of pretension has made an indelible impression. Everyone who knows him will tell you it's not an act, and his life history bears that out. The papacy hasn't changed. The man, he is changing the face of the papacy. Here's Randy Kay.
Even before he was elected, the man who would be Pope introduced the world to his humble ways.
When he was flying over to the conclave that actually elected him to be Pope, he booked his own ticket. He flew coach.
And there's more. While the conclave was voting, the soon-to-be Pope was staying at a guest house nearby. After he got word he'd been chosen as the new Pope, he did something very unusual.
He has them drive him by the guest house the next morning to pay his bill on his own and settle his account, He could have sent somebody over there, but he didn't.
His humbleness, just part of the appeal. He is the first Jesuit Pope ever. And Jesuits take a vow of poverty. One of the biggest statements he's made was choosing to live in the nearly monastic Santa Marta guest house instead of the Vatican's luxurious papal apartments. And he eats in the cafeteria, even busses his own tray. Sometimes he eats with the bishops, other times the custodial staff. His no-frills lifestyle began before becoming Pope. As Archbishop of Buenos Aires, he lived in a small bedroom, reportedly with a portable heater he'd turn on when the building's heating system shut down. He also cooked for himself and often rode the subway or bus. Jesuits are also known for their independence, and this Pope does not disappoint. He picks up his own eyeglasses, makes his own phone calls to those who have written to him in despair, and when he writes letters, he simply signs them Francis. This Pope even canceled his own newspaper.
After he was elected Pope, when he was Archbishop of Buenos Aires, he had a habit of going to this newsstand outside of his little apartment there every day and buying a newspaper. After he was elected Pope, he picked up the phone and called the guy who ran that little newsstand and said, "Hey, it's Padre Jorge, Pope Francis, and I'm sorry, but I'm not going to be needing the paper anymore."
That's great.
I'm Pope now.
At Mass days before Easter in 2013, the Pope washed the feet of a dozen prisoners and kissed them. Foot washing is part of the Christian tradition that mirrors Jesus' washing of his disciples' feet.
It was just an incredibly powerful symbol. There he was washing the feet of Muslims and women. I mean, it really, it was very moving.
A humble Pope with a huge heart who may help open the hearts of others. Randy Kay, CNN, New York.
Well, just ahead in the world of politics, the shockwave that John Boehner unleashed across Washington today. The House Speaker says he made his final decision to resign after waking up and having his